ಈಗ ಸಚಿವೆ ನಿರ್ಮಲಾ ಸೀತಾರಾಮನ್ ಸುದ್ದಿಗೋಷ್ಠಿ ನಡೆಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಬಜೆಟ್ ವಿಚಾರವಾಗಿ ಬನ್ನಿ ನೋಡೋಣ.
We want to reduce the rates. So to achieve both, we have come up this year with a new scheme with very limited exemptions to it. Ideally, a new scheme without any exemptions would have been the best, but still, because there are some exemptions which are absolutely indispensable, and therefore we have brought in those exemptions to it and kept it at the minimum. Those who still want to have the benefit of those exemptions which they have been using for some years can remain in the old system. So we provided both with an intention that in the long run we will be gradually able to remove all exemptions, and in India your personal income tax, the entire framework should be simple and a very low rate without difficulties in compliance. With that said, I have also read out the examples of people who don't want any exemption in the old, don't want any exemption in the new. What will be the benefit? I have also given you in my speech example of, all right, some benefits in old and some benefits in new. What do you tend to benefit? The new scheme has been designed in such a way that you definitely benefit in terms of the money which is going to be remaining in your hand, having not to pay a higher income tax. With that said, I'll ask the Revenue Secretary to tell you which are those exemptions which are part of the new scheme now. With the reduced rate and with those few exemptions, what will be the benefit that anyone can get will be obvious from his answer. Revenue Secretary.
We took a very comprehensive review of all exemptions, and what we found that there are close to 120 exemptions, all different kinds of exemptions. For example, the amount received by a member of a Hindu united family from the income of family state, share of a Hindu undivided family from an income of family state, share of profit received by a partner, interest on certain notified securities, interest on masala bonds, income of foreign diplomats, income of employee, consultant and family members under technical assistance program, death cum retirement gratuity. So this way there was a huge list. And so we took a review of each item, and then we found that in this new regime, as has been explained by the Finance Minister, that the whole idea was to offer a simplified regime and also lower the tax rate, because there were large number of people who, because of cash constraints, the amount of the income that they were having, they were not able to take all benefits, and some people were able to take a larger number of exemptions and deductions. So in order to offer a simplified system and also to help those who are not taking an exemption, offer a lower tax rate, this system has been introduced. That now the total number of exemptions which have been removed from the new system is about 70. So in fact I will give you some example that which one have been removed and which one have been retained. So particularly the important ones which have been retained in the new system would be like the retirement benefits, for example. Death cum retirement gratuity for government employee, no limit. For others up to 20 lakh, it was already there, they will be retained. Commutation of pensions will be retained. Then the leave encashment on retirement, that will be retained. Retrenchment compensation will be retained. Amount received on VRS up to 5 lakh, that will be retained. Similarly, the EPFO, the employer contribution up to a certain limit, whatever limit that is there now, that will be retained. Payment received from NPS, National Pension Scheme on closure, partial withdrawal from NPS, they all will be retained. A scholarship granted to meet the cost of education, that will be retained. Then payment of awards instituted in public interest, that will be retained. So similarly, so these are the things which will be retained. Then and then there are 70 exemptions, as I mentioned.
You that probably put it all in the net.
Yeah. Yes, so I will put it on.
So that will be clearer for you.
Yes.
Okay, we take next question 13. Ma'am, just you will get the details. Question number.
Timsy, when there's more money in your hand and you, the person who has it, will be better in a position to decide where you want to save. instead of me directing it. So I am allowing you to have more money in your hand and depend on your judgment where you want to place your savings.
मैम दिस इज मोनिका फ्रॉम जी बिजनेस। मैम मेरा सवाल है कि आपने कहा कि पार्शियल क्रेडिट गारंटी स्कीम में रिवीजन करने की ज़रूरत है। आपने हाल ही में कुछ रिलैक्सेशंस अनाउंस करे थे, तो अब हम क्या स्पेसिफिक मेजर्स उसमें एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं? और दूसरा ये कि रियल एस्टेट सेक्टर जो वन ऑफ द टॉप एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेटर्स है, उसके लिए आपने कुछ भी अनाउंस नहीं करा, बल्कि उन्हें बहुत ज़्यादा एक्सपेक्टेशन थी कि एटलीस्ट एक वन टाइम लोन रिस्ट्रक्चरिंग स्कीम जो है की घोषणा हो जाएगी। तो क्या कारण रहा उसके पीछे?
नहीं, actually for the real estate we had announced some things even earlier. We had announced that stalled projects which need to be completed will be given the last mile funding so that that project can be completed. Home buyers will be getting the project. That is already ongoing. Now, in this also, we have extended the date by 1 year, so that if it's affordable housing, the exemption which the home buyer has is available for them, and the tax holiday for the real estate people, promoters, is also extended.